put the program on YouTube through their system where my voice, we try to upload 30 seconds of my film to YouTube, boom, shuts it down before it goes up. Not the music, my voice. Now think of the powers of that for censorship. Alex Jones, gone. That's the New World Order's secret weapon to shut down the web. You better use it while you still got it. Fight for it, but also use it like it won't be there tomorrow. Don't take this for granted, folks. Hi, this is Alex Jones.
Everybody knows.
Everybody doesn't know, though. They don't understand there's different types of rich people.
Everybody knows that the boat is...
There are the ultra-rich that are collectivists that use government to consolidate power and shut down their competition. There's the middle class that just wants to be left alone. And there's the hardworking underclass, blue-collar, that wants to make it into the middle class. And then you've now got the giant welfare-dependent class that doesn't know what planet they're on in many cases and thinks that anybody with $1 more than them are the rich guys, and they'll vote to take guns, to bring in socialism, whatever, as long as they get some money. And that's where we stand. Okay, I'm going to go to your phone calls, but I've tried my best today to sit here and warn you. I mean, here's even MSNBC breaking down the internet bill. It says it de-indexes by search engines, blocks internet service providers, blackballs payment, blackballs people being able to even be on the internet, shuts down free speech, shuts down even proxy servers, and allows the Pentagon to run it all. The Pentagon running our lives. What happens to every third world country? The military takes over. That is the crooks that run the military take over. This is foreign banks, a bunch of international crime bosses that make Madoff look like a choir boy running our society. Very simple. And if Americans just bow down to authority and bow down to torture and bow down to black uniforms, a long, long night is coming. You think the Depression's bad now? You ain't seen nothing yet. Our debt is predominantly owned by China and foreign banks. Here's a headline. China trims holdings of U.S. Treasury debt because of dollar devaluation. Look, they're not gearing up for martial law for no reason. And they started getting ready for it when they got rid of Glass-Steagall. They knew 12 years ago what they were doing. This is all premeditated. Because I don't want to hear when all this stuff comes into place, well, Alex, you were right, they were going to do it. But they just thought of this just now. No, it's been a long-term takeover. But what I love is how, even though world government's now admitted, and it's run by the very groups we said would announce it, the big mega brokerage banks and central banks, even though we're totally right, they have people coming out writing hit pieces. The Ron Paul interview is coming up right now. Let's rampage through your calls. Lee in California. Boom, hit it. You're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, yeah, I'm out here in California, a little country town out in the middle of San Joaquin Valley, and moved out of here. Well, I lived here about 17 years ago, moved out about 10, and just moved back a year ago.
Yeah, right outside your town. It was in the news last week that the sheriff meets secretly with the ADL and the feds, quote, about small government terrorists, and they're teaching the locals and the police that Tea Partiers might need to be arrested. That broke last week. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm surrounded by zombies, fluoride heads, aspartame zombies, and gangbangers. And my kids, they go to school here, and every single school here has got fences all the way around. They're about 7, 8 foot tall. They're locked in. As parents, we got to go in there at certain times to go, you know, pick up our kids or whatever. We have to go through the office at a certain time.
No, it's all prison training, but the illegal aliens are above the law, yes.
Yeah, and exactly. And
the pedophiles that work for the school, they don't even run their backgrounds in most states.
Yeah,
they want it locked down while they're having fun in there with the kids.
That must be it. And listen, yeah, we're driving down the freeway, and we've been noticing there's little black boxes in the middle of the lanes. We're thinking maybe license plate readers. We don't know. And then we go down a little further. There's like new poles up there with
they've got license plate readers in nationwide. They're now putting in pulse kill switches in all the new cars. They have kill switch systems. They've got helicopters a decade ago are all mounted with kill systems. But they don't want the enemy, that's the American people, to know about their secret weapons until they're ready to roll out. 15 years ago, they had ground-penetrating radar. They look right through your walls. Most police departments have it. Everything's listened to. Everything's tracked. I was a kook saying it years ago. Now it's admitted. I mean, just a total criminal government.
Yeah, I've had a black helicopter fly over my house. No numbers on it. Tinted out windows. didn't know what the hell that was all
they
about.
admit it's Homeland Security and FEMA, but again, you're not supposed to see it. You're a bad man, Lee. Good to hear from you. Josh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Josh in Oklahoma City, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Doing okay.
Hey, man, I'm actually calling today. I heard about the National Defense Authorization Act, and I was trying to tell a friend of mine named Don about it, and he keeps telling me, that Ron Paul is not going to win the presidency, and I'm telling him, well,
Okay, well, what does that have to do with the NDAA?
Well, all right, he's trying to say that Ron Paul is just, like, saying rambling things, and I'm trying to tell him, well, Ron Paul even
listen. 5% defeated the British. And we've got way more than that now in the info war. We don't want this to get physical, but they'll probably try to start something. Look, your friend's okay, but he's a coward deep down, so he makes excuses. I can play 4 senators who authored and co-sponsored the bill. I can play the clips right now. They're the top story at Infowars.com where it does affect citizens. I mean, Army Times says they're training in Brigade Homeland and Stars and Stripes to, quote, pull triggers on Tea Partiers. Look, I've been to the drills before they called it a Tea Party. I've been to the Marine Corps drills. They practice killing people wearing John Deere hats and red and white checkered vest. They practice killing your granddaddy. We're the enemy.
Before I went blind, I was going to join the military, and now that I can't see, I did a lot of research on the military and stuff, and I'm realizing slowly that all they're doing is using us against each other. I mean, they're trying to pretty much make a civil war on purpose.
Yeah, they make it super sexy to torture, super sexy to have checkpoints, and then it's all about Al-Qaeda, and meanwhile, none of it's about Al-Qaeda behind the scenes. Josh, good to hear from you. Just tell your friend, enjoy himself then, okay? Just tell him enjoy everything that happens. Virgil in Nevada, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Good to be listening in. Good afternoon, InfoWarriors nationwide. I've been wanting to share an idea on the broadcast for some time now. Maybe let me know what you think and if it'll work or not. And that is, what if we were to, similar how you do the Google bombs, go after pro-New World NWO globalist corporations that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and file complaints?
My only issue is that you'd have to have a real grievance with them to file the complaint. I mean, I know it's a war, but I don't ever resort to, I'm not saying you're saying this, to any dark side tactics or deception, because that only gives the enemy power. You may get results with lies up front, but it always manifests in some other greater, more evil way.
I see. Well, I was thinking Coca-Cola, if we could maybe go after them in regards to, they are in the Better Business Bureau and have an A+ rating. And I know
this. Well, yeah, if you went blind from their aspartame in their drinks, which the studies show it does, then you could file a complaint on them. That's a good idea. And if you're tired of Coca-Cola funding globalist occupation worldwide and tyranny, which they do, and open borders, then I would file a complaint on them for that. That's a good idea. Virgil, anything else?
Absolutely. I just like to bombard corporations worldwide.
You know, I got a point on that when we come back, and then more of your calls, and then Ron Paul. Stay with us. If you're a new listener, I just want to challenge you to visit Infowars.com. We've got an article headline up there. Presidential frontrunner says martial law being established in America, and it's got the full interview with Ron Paul. We're just going to play part of it coming up in the next segment. Interview I did earlier in the week that a lot of stations that don't pick up the weekday show pick up the Sunday night show. And so I want people to be able to hear this Ron Paul interview. And I've said it. It's the most powerful interview I ever did with him because he lays it down. And it's been attacked by a bunch of different newspapers. This incredible one out of the Weekly Standard says the company Ron Paul keeps, mean Alex Jones. And I'm going to do more on this tomorrow on the 11 a.m. show. Because I just saw this before I went live today. Aaron was up here doing some updating of the news sites and brought it into me because there's literally hundreds of articles, including dozens in major newspapers about the interview that you're about to hear after I take some more calls. And Aaron brought it into me, and I was reading over it. And, you know, it says basically we're insane that we're worried about the military on the streets of America, even though it's already happening in many cases. People pull up to Marine Corps checkpoints, you name it, in America. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. This is called Brigade Homeland. TSA checkpoints here on the highway. I told you years ago it was going to happen because they said it was. I mean, it's like, shut up, kook. We're not going to have checkpoints on the highways. But there's a press release by the TSA about that's what's so frustrating. And in this Weekly Standard article by James Kirchick, you see everything that's wrong with this country. This weird, almost schizophrenic craziness where there was a couple articles I saw this week in the Weekly Standard criticizing the NDAA, saying it puts troops on the streets and allows us to be secretly arrested. And then there's an article, him saying me and Ron Paul are crazy. It just doesn't work anymore. I mean, I remember being told 16 years ago I was crazy that the Federal Reserve was private. You guys failed on that front. Now everybody knows it. You know, your incredible ignorance, which I find hard to believe, or your deception, isn't working anymore, dinosaur media. You're not the mainstream media anymore. And that's why you want to censor talk radio and online news. And let me tell you something. You're picking a fight that's waking people up. I've never seen such an awakening as happening right now. The huge awakening that I saw 2 weeks ago has been turbocharged to a level I've never seen. All right, I got to give each caller a minute. I want to get to everybody. George in Connecticut, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I don't know if a minute will do it, but I'll try quickly. I have 3 points. I think we should start making CDs of all the pertinent supporting materials, pass it out to friends. And second point, go to police, go to military people's homes that we know in our areas, talk to them and say, look, are you going to go Nazi or are you going to go Republic? I mean, there's a bottom line, and otherwise we go swamp fox. And you remember, when you start picking up families, we're going to be going after your families, because if you're going to kill us, then if it's going to cross that line, then you got to realize that there is no line anymore. There is no law and order. I forgot the third
George, I got to stop because I can't go to the callers. You're on fire. And what you said, we've got to do emergency backups of all the proof. Because, again, they wouldn't be trying to bring in censorship if we weren't hurting them, which lets us know they're not invincible. They're a bunch of Ken Lay, Bernie Madoff, John Corzines. It would be so easy to just arrest them all. They've all committed treason. Instead, they want to arrest us because we're the real Americans, and they know it, George.
Third point, I just remembered. Go to every station, every newspaper. Talk to the actual reporters that have reported this bullshit, and go right in their face and said, "Where?"
Sir, I got to let you go. I understand you're upset here, but we're a broadcast radio station. The quickest way to get cut off the air is to do that. Okay, we wanted to hear what you had to say, and he made great points. And I know he's mad. He's saying, "Don't go after our families. Don't destroy the rule of law, because then there is no law. Get the hard copies of the films, the books, the materials. Again, value this information and reach out to reporters and media people and explain to them what they're doing." I saw articles this week, even after it was national news, that the NDAA did affect citizens. I saw them attack Ron Paul and myself and say we're liars, even when it's admitted. Now, that's conscious disinfo. And most of these articles I saw were on the editorial pages of newspapers. They wouldn't put their name on it. Folks, if a name isn't on something, number one, if it's a nom de plume or a nom de guerre, I don't respect that. I want to see the John Hancock on it. You know what? One time I was being flown out to Los Angeles to be in a movie. And they said, we got to follow this paperwork and, give us your real name on the paperwork. And I said, it's Alex Jones. It's Alexander Emmerich Jones. Yeah, that's my name. This is me. This is who I am. Okay? There's no act here. I know what I'm talking about. I put it all on the line. I face death every day because I know that I cannot give in to the evil and serve it. I cannot put it on my name and my soul. I will not be part of it. All right.